Hello, Brother Sewing and Crafting family. Angela Wolf here with another great show for you. Today we have Coleen coming in, and wait till you see this super cute project. And by the way, it's perfect timing if you want to make some gifts for your friends and family. So welcome, say hi. And it's great to see you. I don't, these shows always start with the weather, but it is an absolute monsoon outside. So if we lose power, just know it's not you, it's me. So welcome everyone, great to see you. And let's welcome Brother Educator, Coleen Swettman. How are you, Coleen?
I'm great. Good morning. And I don't have rain, and I'm going to brag about that because I've had it for the whole weekend.
Oh my God. It's really funny. I was planning on doing the show outside on the patio, and that didn't work out. So instead, we're here, and I'm looking so forward to your project because it might give me something to do all afternoon.
Oh, it definitely will. And it's easy, and it makes a perfect gift. If you don't need it for yourself, of course, if you ever go to a potluck, you need it for yourself, but it's a great gift. So shall we get started?
Let's get started. Before we do, I just want to let everyone know that we are live streaming on Brother Sew's YouTube and Facebook pages. So don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Leave your comments and questions. We love to see what's going on with you. And I'll make sure that if there's any questions for Coleen, I'll snag her in between. So Coleen, take it away.
All right, let's get going. So I'm going to put this on this camera so you can see the project a little more easy. This is just a little, whoops. If I held it right in front of the camera, but I didn't. So this is a bowl cover. And what's fun about this bowl cover that makes it different than any of the others is that it has a pocket. So the pocket allows you to put in, my husband's pointing, oh, this is a better camera, that's why. The pocket allows you to put in a heating or a cooling something. So when I'm going to a potluck, you can't always count on the hostess having something to keep your food warm. So I have those little heater bags. You can buy them at any sporting goods stores, and you just pop them and they stay warm. So that's a cool thing to have, and you can put that in. And then also for the cool side, you can just freeze ice in a Ziploc bag and then pop that in, and you've got it so it keeps the dish cool. So that's kind of a fun thing. Now this is a big one that I made. Whoops. There we go. This is a great big one. So this is if you're going to a huge potluck, but you can see here the Velcro on the top to keep the pocket closed so the ice bag or the hot bag doesn't fall out. But these are just super simple to do and like make a great gift. So this little one, what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to actually just take it to a potluck. We got invited to a potluck last night, and I'm thinking, hey, whoops, I'll just take one of these with my, and then it's a part of their gift. So they get the cover and the thing and the whole deal. So there you go. So I will show you a little trick. These are metal bowls, and the reason that I use the metal bowls is because I won't drop it and break it. And they have a nice lip on them. Now, I'll tell you my secret if you promise on your honor not to laugh where I got them. Can you make them promise that they won't laugh out loud?
I hate to say it looks like a dog bowl, Coleen.
You're so quick. It totally is. It's a dog bowl. And the reason that I didn't, it's metal, and it's so perfect. But the thing that you have to watch out for is on the back side, it has rubber so it won't scoot across the floor or the table. So if you are using it, then what you're going to do is you're just going to preheat it with either hot water or pre-cool it with cold water so that the bowl will help hold the temperature. Angela, I really didn't think anybody would figure that out.
Well, I hate to say it, I don't even have a dog, but I did have a cat, and that cat would drink a ton of water, so I ended up having to go to the dog side. So that's where it came in.
Well, I thought it was a pretty cool idea because then it won't scoot around even in the car, I don't think. Of course, when you travel, you're going to put, yeah, and I thought it was a great idea. And then always before you put the cover on, you're going to cover your dish with aluminum foil just to make sure that you don't have any spillage, right? So I have several sizes of these because they come in all kinds of fun sizes. But let's get started on our project because it's it's a very challenging project. Did I say that out loud? So I like things that are quick and easy, and you never know when you're going to get that last minute, oh my gosh, party like we just did yesterday. And the party's on the 23rd. So here's my gift. And I'm going to use, and I'm going to show you this tool, because if you don't have one, when I'm done with you, you're going to want 3. But if you have one, then you'll understand. But I'll tell you why you're going to want 3 in a little bit. But I'm going to just put so that I know that I'm about the same distance all around, so that when I draw my bowl cover, I have space for it to put in the elastic and to put in the hem. So this is actually where it's going to be. So I'm just going to draw right around here with my magic marker, because it's not going to show. And even if it did, it wouldn't make any difference. So, oh, you can't see that very well. Let me hold it up and see if that's better. Nope, you can't see it very well there either. See the little black line? All right. So that's my line. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out from it, and I'm going to do about the first one is going to be a 1 inch. So I'm just going to mark a 1 inch, and I'm just going to come around here. And I only have to mark one side, and I think you all know why that is, right? Because I'm lazy. No, I didn't say that out loud, did I? So I'm just going to put some little 1 inch marks around. And the 1 inch mark is where my elastic is going to go. Now the 2.5 inch mark is where my hem is. And it could be 2, 2.5, whatever you have left over. I tried to make mine so I would have 2.5, because I like that little bit fuller edge to it. Ooh, I made that one by the skin of my teeth. Good job. And so I just mark it around. And then I'm going to cheat, because you all know how to do that. And I'm going to, I just will connect the dots so that I get my marks around. And then here's how I'm going to cheat. I'm going to pull one out that's already done. So you see I hope you can see on this one, because it's a lighter fabric. There we go. You can see the solid line, which is the line of the outside edge of the brim. And then there's a dotted line where the elastic is going to go. I'll try to hold that a little bit more straight so you can see it. And then the top line, the outside line, is the one you're going to cut on. So those are your 3 lines. The first one, the biggest one, is cut. The second one is elastic, and the inside one is just first on the top. Makes sense, I hope.
Hey, Coleen.
Yes.
I'm just going to have your mic, for some reason, it kind of goes in and out a little bit. Just make sure that it's away from, right, like when you're standing up. I think when you're leaning over or something, we're just getting a little buffer.
Okay, it's probably when I lean over. I may have put it on.
When you're standing up.
It's fine when I'm standing up? Okay.
Yep.
It's possible that I put it on backwards. Is that better? Let's see if I lean over. Is that better?
Yeah, that's much better. Thanks so much. We got most of it, but we missed a little bit of that.
Okay. Now, since I already have one cut out, it makes it really easy to cut out the second one. And you could just cut around it like that. Just saying. Like I said, I'm not lazy. I'm efficient. Now that I have those lines in place, I'm going to go to the next piece. And the next piece is the pocket. And I'm going to start the pocket first so it can stitch, because that's going to take a little while. So let me move all this stuff out of the way so that you can see how we do the pocket. So the pocket is a strip of fabric, and I can't give you direct dimensions for the fabric, because the pocket just can't be any bigger than your outline. So if you measure your outline, your line that you drew, and your line that you drew is 7 inches across, then make your pocket 5.5 or 6. So just figure on making your pocket about 1.5 inches smaller than what the diameter of your piece is. Does that make sense? I hope.
It sure does.
Okay, good, good. So then cut it twice as long as you need and a little extra. And the reason that I do the extra is because I might make a mistake and I want extra to fiddle with, and I want sides underneath it and all that. So here's my strip. And in this case, it's the width plus 2 times the length. And then I happen to have a piece of batting cut here. And this is a hard batting. And it doesn't matter what batting that you use. You're just trying to provide some sort of insulation. So this is, I used wool batting on one. Boy, that one's great. But this one, it just doesn't really matter that much. Just some kind of batting to give it a little padding and a little body. And then we're going to put a stabilizer underneath it. We're going to use a tearaway, a really, really lightweight tearaway. And then we're going to go here and we're going to pull off these tabs. And you'll notice that I put the cardboard strips back in when I'm done. And that's because these magnets hold really, really, really well. And I don't know that I'd be able to get them off if I didn't have help. So let's take this and we'll pop it in here. And we're just going to put our magnets back on. So they always go with the finger lip to the inside. Boy, that one's tight. Did you hear it snap? And oh,
We love those hoops.
I know, don't we all love them? This one's really, I got it on here nice and tight. Probably should have done the opposing sides first because that would have been simpler, but I didn't. There we go. Now I'm going to take this to the machine to stitch. So my lovely camera expert is going to follow me to the machine. And I have my machine. Oh, I have to switch it my own self. I have my machine in the embroidery mode because I'm going to embroider. I'm going to quilt this using my design center. Now, if you happen to have a machine that doesn't have my design center, how would you quilt this? Well, you can just stitch straight lines, diagonal lines, cross-hatching lines. You can make it quilt yourself. But I happen to have the luxury of my design center, and I love that feature. If you have it and haven't used it, which I hear a lot of the time, it is actually like having a little mini digitizing program right built into your screen. And I love having that. So I'll try to touch this with the thing so my fat fingers aren't in the way. So I'm going to touch this shape right here. And what comes up are my hoops. So I'm going to tell it that I want to use a 5x7 hoop. And I'm going to tell it, okay. And it makes an outline for me of my 5x7 hoop. So the design that I choose is going to go into that hoop. That saves me a whole lot of work. Now I'm going to fill that with a quilting design. So I'm not going to worry about the outlines. I'm just going to touch my quilting bucket. And then I'm going to touch my choices. The first one is fill, which of course I don't want. The second one is stippling, which would be fine. But the fun one is the last one, because what I can do is I can choose custom ones. So I can have up to 12 of my own custom ones. And then for built-ins, I have 48. Now, where could you get your own custom ones? Well, a lot of you already have PE Design 11, and there's a program in there that you can create with very quickly and create anything that you want. Also, there are some custom ones available for purchase. So I've chosen my built-in, and I've already kind of played with this a little bit. I know that I want the leaves because I have leaf fabric. So I'm going to touch OK. And I'm going to touch a dark blue because it's easier for you to see on the screen. The thread, doesn't really make any difference. And I'm going to touch OK. And I'm going to touch the center, and that filled in just my hoop space. Now what I want to do is I don't need to do anything else. I'm going to go to next. And when I get to next, I have a bunch of choices. So up here I have arrows. If I had multiple things, I could toggle between. Here I have 100%. I can go down to 50%, which would make it a very dense quilting. Or I can go up even further. If I wanted it farther apart, I can go actually up to 200%. So I don't need it to be really dense, but I do need overall. So that's good. This one would change my angle. This one would add an outline, which I don't need. This one will distort it, and there are different levels of distortion. So if you want it really distorted to look like you were not very good at it, you could do that. This one will move the center point. So some of those designs have a center point. It moves the center point out towards the corner. So if you have a quilt or a quilt piece and you can actually move the center of the block out, which really leads your eye to the corners, which is kind of fun. Let's see. That one distorts, that one does that. And this one is, do I want to stitch it 3 times or 1 time? Well, I only need to stitch it 1 time because I'm just securing that batting and it's not going to be real heavy use item. So I'm going to touch OK. And I'm going to touch set. And it says it's converted to embroidery and the program will be exited. Well, because I have made more than one mistake in my lifetime, I usually cancel and put this in memory on the machine or on a stick. And that way I know if I make a mistake, I've got it already and I don't have to go to the trouble of setting it up again. So now that I've put it into memory, I'm going to touch set and OK. And then I'm going to add. Now, yes, I could have put the initial in first, but I wanted the whole piece quilted, not around the initial. That would be a different process. So I'm going to add an initial. And I'm going to add, let's see, I think I'll add that scrolly one's really pretty. So I'll find the S. Oh, I don't like that at all. That's stupid. That's really stupid looking. So I'm going to come down here and I see the 3 letters showing 3 different fonts. So I can just audition my font. Maybe I would like that one better. I don't know that I really like that one either. How about that one? Well, that one's pretty good. But there's another one that I think I want to use, and it's that one. Yeah, I feel like that one today. So I'm just going to tell it, okay, and I'm done with that so I can set it. Notice that it went right to the center of my screen. So I can come up here to edit. I can go to size. Now these are already resizable in Brother's program of this particular alphabet. So these are grayed out up here, but it is going to resize with recalculation. So I'm going to make it just a hair bigger. And I'm going to touch OK. And I want it up a little bit. And since if I try to move it myself, I might not be accurate. So I'll just use my arrow keys to about there. That's good. OK, embroidery. And again, I'm fanatic about power outages and whatever. I'm going to touch it in the memory in case I want to come back to it. And I'm going to go ahead and I've already threaded my machine with the thread color I want. I'm going to touch go and it's going to go and it's going to take about 7 minutes to stitch that. So now I'm hoping that I can come back and talk to you a little bit about these. And Angela, it's up to you. Can you hear me over the machine? I'm really close to the machine.
So far we can. Yeah, we can hear you. And we can see you great. And you do have a couple questions, which I think we've kind of answered in the comments, but not all of them. I think it was, well, Teresa loves your stylist, by the way.
Oh.
And Dee, it's great to see you. Let me see who. Oh, yeah, it was Natalie. Natalie wanted to know, those are Brother hoops. And I'm pretty sure that's what you're using is the Brother hoop, unless I missed something.
No, it's a Brother hoop.
Yep.
I only use Brother products typically.
And what size was that one? That was the other question.
5x7. That one was the 5x7. We also have a 10x10. And we have a great big one. 10x14, I think. I'd have to look at it. Might be 14 3, but it's a huge one.
That's a big one. Any other questions? Patty said she loves it when you're on.
My husband's pointing to my cameraman's pointing to the camera.
Hey, good job, cameraman. She's back on. So, Coleen, this is a super cute project. I did see a couple questions rolling through, and I know you probably can't explain a lot more, but if you have a few minutes, the custom fills was a big conversation going on the YouTube side. So could you explain a little more about that? I think you need a whole lesson on that, but could you give a little brief?
Okay, so the quick answer, the down and dirty fast answer is if you own PE Design 11, which probably some of you already do, It's in that program up on the right-hand side. If you pull it down, you'll see there's a separate program for just designing these fills, and you can draw and create anything that you want. So it's be careful. I mean, I really warn you to be careful about this because it is 100% addictive, and it's so simple to do. They give you it's terrible. They give you a little, like maybe a 4-inch square to work with, and you draw, design, and create anything that you want to within that. And the secret to this is, I'll tell you the secrets. The secret is if you have it match or end on the sides and the top, then when you go to do it, it'll be a perfect overall design matching everywhere. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life.
I think that sounds like a lot of fun. You know, Brother has a habit of coming out with some really fun things that you can't stop playing with. Speaking of Artspira, that one is like, I'm on there more than any other app now. And I don't know, I'm hoping that I don't fill up my favorite list because they're going to have to expand that.
No, I know exactly what you mean. I hadn't played that much with Artspira until just a couple of weeks ago. And then I had to get something done. And I went, oh, wow. You know, when it started out, it was less robust. Now it's really a robust program. So it's got a ton of designs in it, and it's got all kinds of fun things that you can do. And even if you just pick through it for ideas, it would be good. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
Absolutely.
I know exactly.
Your embroidery is looking good. You know, when you were standing by the machine, we could hear you fine. That machine is so quiet.
It is quiet, and I knew that I thought you'd be able to hear me, but I wanted to make sure because I didn't want to, it's hard when we're talking, but she's just steaming right along at 1,000 stitches a minute. Let me see how she's doing. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see the quilting very well because I did blue on blue. I didn't really want it to show up too much. I don't know quite what I was thinking, but I just love this machine quilting feature. Oh my gosh. I use it all the time.
Teresa said she's already addicted to the custom stitch. Oh, and Artspira probably, and she hasn't even tried it yet. I'm thinking she's talking about the custom stitch, right, Teresa? That's funny.
Yeah. Oh no. Like I said, it's really addictive. I was doing something for a sample, and I did a cowboy boot, and I thought this was right on at the very beginning of it. And I did this big embroidered cowboy boot. It's really pretty. And I thought, what am I going to fill this with? Because it has to be filled or it won't. So I thought, I'll just do the same cowboy boot that I took out of a coloring book, and I'll just shrinky dink it down to where it's like 1 inch tall. And then it's the cutest sample. And people are always going, what's that? That fills a cowboy boot? And they go nuts. It's great. It's great when you go to Texas. They love that stuff.
Oh, definitely.
Yes. And so you can do it with anything. And that's the part about it that's just, to me, so exciting. So I guess I probably should get back to my circle here. So I did mark this one earlier. So I cheated when I did that because I didn't think you'd want to sit there and watch me cut out the circle. I will draw a little dot and dot, right? I mean, I will draw little lines to connect because I'm not good enough to see where the elastic goes if I don't. I'm not quite that clever. I wish I was, but I'm not. So I'm just kind of connecting it real quickly. Whoops, there's a little whoops. That happens. It's in the elastic part. Nobody's going to worry about it, right? So the easiest way to measure my elastic is to just take a piece of elastic and wrap it around the bowl. And I don't need for it to be tight because the fabric is bigger than this anyway. So I'll just wrap it around the bowl, and I can make a little mark, or I can just go ahead and put my finger there and cut it. And that's what I'm going to do because I'm lazy. And, oh, wait a minute, I already marked it. Clever girl, I did that yesterday. But you all know how to do that. So it's cut. It's cut to the right size. And then guess what we're going to do next? We're going to fold it in half. So we have quarter marks, and we'll mark a quarter mark in. Oh, my husband keeps pointing at the table because I hold it up so I can see it, but then you can't. So that's kind of a problem. It's a good thing he's in the room. I'm blonde, okay? Okay, so I'm just going to fold that into that center point and make a little mark. And then before I do the next one, I'm going to put my initial thread in. So I'm going to run right over here to the machine, and I'm going to take out my blue thread and thread my gold thread, because I think a gold initial has a lot of power to it. I also have red out here in case I had a red moment, because red is perfect for everything in my world. And then I'm just going to let her go. So she's got just a couple or more minutes while she's doing that. And I'll come back here and finish my marks. Oh, there it is. So fold to the center. And then you can see I'm not quite perfect about this. And fold it again. So I have this little wad of elastic. I'm trying to hold it where you have good there. Now I'm just going to make another little mark. So those are my quarter marks. So now when I go to lay this on my actual pattern, and you want to do the pocket on here before you do the elastic. Now, please don't ask me why, but I will tell you that it is really, really, really hard to sew the pocket in after you've already got the elastic on. So I'm not going to do the elastic yet. I just wanted you to see how to do it. But it's my favorite term for this is it's a vocabulary enhancing experience. And I think we all know what that means if you think about it for just a minute. But this is kind of a small cover, so you don't have a lot of room for leeway. So you really, really want to wait until that pocket is done and stitch the pocket on first. Now I could go ahead and hem it, and that part would be fine. But she's done anyway. So over here to the machine. He's getting his exercise today. For those of you that don't know, my husband is in the room as my switcher and helper, and he's really getting a lot of exercise. So I'm going to lift and release and slide this off. Now, this particular hoop is low enough that it'll slide right under the foot. But if it wasn't, I would just be able to diagonal it off. This one is perfect, and it will come right off. So I'm going to come over here to the table. And we're just going to pull these off. And if you watched me when I tried to pull them off before, you know that I'm going to take the time to put the cardboard back into it, because my fingers are older than the rest of my body and they're stiff. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my little cardboard strips. If you've lost your cardboard strips, then what you can do is do a couple layers of a heavy stabilizer, or buy more cardboard, but you can hear how that snaps into place. So it's really a good firm snap. You wouldn't want to have to fight getting that off, would you? I love these hoops because of their accuracy and their ease of use. And here's my pocket. So I am going to pull off the stabilizer, because of course I don't need that now. I only needed it because this was in the hoop. And on my bigger ones, when I did a bigger pocket, I didn't have to have stabilizer at all. It just filled the hoop. But these are the smaller version. Like I said, I'm kind of excited. This is going to be one I take this weekend. So we're also going to trim it. So as luck would have it, my rotary cutter, which was right here, before I covered it up with something. Oh, well, I'll use my scissors. inside from me. You know how that is, I hope.
We do. And Coleen, just make sure when you lean over that your mic isn't hitting again because it's doing that weird thing again.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Now it's much better, much better. Hey, Marty wants to know those hoops. Will those work on her dream machine?
Absolutely, yes.
There you go, Marty.
She might have to do a free update so the dream machine can recognize it, but that's a free update. So, yep, Brother's pretty smart about that, and when they make a new hoop, they try to make it so the rest of us can use it.
Which is wonderful.
They're no dummies. Yeah, they're no dummies. So there's my pocket. Where's my circle that I need to sew? Here we go. Now what we're going to do, remember I told you, I think I told you at the beginning, if you don't have one of these by this afternoon, you will. So I'm going to slide this way down to where it's at about 1/4 of an inch. And I'm going to go to the machine and I'm going to change my machine to sewing because I'm going to hem this. So I'm going to just go to the home page, touch OK, touch sewing, touch OK. My cameraman is very quietly saying wait. So I'm going to put the blue thread back on. Boy, I tell you what, I don't think I could live without an automatic needle threader anymore. Once you get some of these features, you're never ever retreating to the old style. Okay, and here we go. Oh, it says remove the embroidery foot because I'm in the sewing mode. All right, Mr. Machine, just because you're smarter than I am. And it's right. I need to take that embroidery foot off because I'm in the sewing mode. And now I'll thread it. And now I'll put my foot on it. So this is your standard embroidery foot or sewing foot that comes with it. And I'm going to hem this, and it'll take a little bit to get it started. But I think you've all had this struggle before. I'm going to hold it right up here under the machine lamp I saw. You know how this is when you're trying to do that little edge and you're going to roll about 1/4 of an inch and then you're going to finger it. And I do a couple of inches. Now I'm not going to do the whole circle because that would make me crazy and or more insane than I am. But I'm going to come in here like this and I'm going to slide that piece under. I'm going to put down. I'm going to go to center needle. I'm sorry, right needle with not a knot because I don't want back stitching now. Now, oh, it's 1-04, which is the right-hand side because I want it close to my edge, and it doesn't have a back stitch. It's just a little knot, and so that's where I am. Now, this is the secret, so it's going to have to get in really close because once you've seen this secret, first of all, you'll love me. My shoulder back. Oops,
yeah,
that shoulder.
Just a smidge. There you go. Your hair looks great, though. You head to the right, just a little. There you go.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I have the foot controller in to make this easier for me, and I'm just going to take a couple of stitches. And now watch this trick. See what's happening here? You probably can't see. What's happening is my seam gauge is turning this under for me perfectly. So I don't have to think about it or mess with it or do anything. It just wipes it right under like that. Now I found that out because I'm lazy, but you can see how once you get going, you don't even have to stop. You can just keep it rolling. You've got to tell me that's a new trick for you, right?
I haven't done that one before. That's a great trick.
You haven't?
Nope.
Are you going to try it?
No, absolutely.
It works like magic. So I'm sorry I have to do the whole thing because I know you've already figured out how this works now that we've got it done. But, whoops. If you get a little wild, sometimes you have to slow down. You know how that goes. But this goes pretty quickly. Not used to trying to be out of the way of the... Woo! I heard a police car. Was that at my house or yours?
I keep trying to mute myself. I don't know what's going on outside, but there's a lot. It's right by the highway.
Oh, okay. So my dog barked, and so I thought, oh, well, it could be outside my house. My animals are right beside the...
Natalie wants to know if you can zoom in just a smidgen closer. Any chance you can zoom in a little?
Can you smidge?
Just a little bit, because we just barely can see it.
So what I'm doing is I'm taking this seam...
And then just move your head to the right. There you go.
Okay. It's hard to know where to tuck those body parts, let me just tell you. So you're just really holding this edge, and what's happening is the bottom bend of this is forcing that top piece under. So you just get that perfect rolled edge. And then I was looking, to be honest with you, last night I couldn't find it. And so I had a moment of sheer terror. But I found another tool in my repertoire that will do the same thing. These are so cheap and they're so effective that I love these guys. But I will show you the other tool in case you have to panic like I did. And I can see I'm getting a little offhand, but that's okay. There we go. We're almost to the end.
And if you could just move your left hand while you're doing the last little bit, that way we can see. Like, there you go.
Okay. And then I'm just going to tell it to do a quick knot. And cut. Oh, and I can see where I got off track. It's hard when you're trying to keep your hands out of the way, trust me. But you can see there's your little edge. Okay, so the next thing that I need to do is elastic. So I'm going to go back to the table. No, see, I almost tricked myself. Do I want to do elastic? No, I do not. I want to do my pocket. So I'm going to cut off the bottom of my pocket because I don't need this extra batting down here. And then I'm going to actually shape it on the back side, because on the back side I can tell how big I need the pocket to be, because I want it to fit inside that. Oh, you can see I missed a place. I want it to fit inside that inner circle. So I'm going to tuck under, and I have a couple of pins here just to give me an idea of how it's going to go. And this side. Now the top edge is already finished, so I'm just going to use that, and I wanted inside that circle. So now I'm just going to pop up that bottom edge, so that's inside too. So that's going to give me, those are the dimensions. I want all four corners to be inside that big circle. Now obviously I'm going to stitch it on the front. I just did it on the back because that's where my lines are, to make it easy for me to identify. I hope that makes sense. And then when I go in here, I'm just going to kind of go right to that center point and pop it down into place. And let's just use a ruler to make sure I'm seeing things correctly. That's about 2 3/4, so that one needs to be about, so I wasn't quite centered there. My line's not dark enough for me to see through. Oh, there it is. Good job. Okay, so now I can take some pins and I can just pin it into place. And I'm just going to do, this is just your easiest thing ever in the world. You're just going to do your basic top stitching to stitch it down. The only thing, fortunately, I have a a really good machine, and you all do too. But I'm actually sewing through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of fabric and 2 layers of batting. So it's a good thing you have a really good machine, because that's a lot.
That is a lot.
It's a lot of bulk, but she doesn't care. She just takes it on, goes on about her business.
Whose arm is that giving you instructions? It's her CEO.
Yes. And he certainly lets me know that he's the CEO. I did notice that this morning we both put on red shirts. I thought, how did he get the memo? What? Isn't that funny?
That's
okay. Cute. So here's one more tool that I found in my repertoire that this guy is a little pair of tweezers with an angle, and it would also work if you didn't have a seam gauge, but the seam gauge is by far the cheapest, easiest to come by. Just saying. Don't want to leave you out in the dirt if somebody needs to sew this afternoon, because boy, I know how that is. You're like, so I'm going to put the edge of the foot right at the edge of my pocket here. Move my left hand. Well, then I can't hold the fabric. So, details. And so I've got my machine screen program, so it's going to do a knot, and I'm just going to let it stitch. And I could have it do back stitch instead, but that's okay. We're good. I hit the cut one with my left foot when I was moving, so that was there we go. And I don't like to sew over pins. I've heard it's not good for my machine, so I don't do it. Hand, he keeps... Move my left hand. Where am I going to put it? And see, it just slides right through all those layers of batting and fabric, and it's just not complaining or hesitating or griping or anything. It just, oh, that's quite a hill that I've asked it to climb there. It doesn't care. Doesn't matter. And I'm going to tell it to go ahead and backstitch and cut. And there we go. So now what you have is a cute pocket on a lace doily, which looks like this. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to the table, and we're going to find our elastic that I cut earlier. And remember how I marked it? Well, I marked it so I would have quarter points, and I can either mark them on my fabric here, but I've already made a little cross in the middle to make it easy for me, and I had folded mine to make it simple so I would know where it was. But if it's easier, it's okay to draw on your fabric. No one will ever know. Right? Oh, whoops. So we're going to start right here at one end, and we're just going to come kind of right out here towards that middle piece. Is it my left hand that's in the way again? No. Oh, good. I was afraid he's going to make me take it off. Then, yeah.
Your hand?
Yeah. I'm going to match my points. So I'm going to match the one I made on my elastic to the one that I made on my top. And it's just a simple match point. Notice that it's not going to be simple when I go to do it, but right now it's simple. Hopefully you can see this. And there's actually no sewing police involved in this particular project. So if you're off by 1/4 of an inch, the world will not end. I promise you. So I'm going to come around here and match these guys at the end. And put that pin in. Okay, so this is what I have. And then what I'm going to do, if I have more pins laying around here, I'll probably put a half point in, because that way I'm not stretching it quite so much. I'm not having to pull on it quite so much. So I hope you don't mind my lazy but efficient ways of doing this.
I think there's more conversation going on right now about the seam guide that we've all had forever.
So everybody's had one for 150 years, right?
Basically, yep.
And you've never used it. So now you're going to get one for your machine, right?
The cheapest thing we have in our sewing room.
Totally. Totally, completely. That's funny. Well, good. See, it was worth watching us today, right? Okay, so now back at the machine, I'm going to have him touch the screen. And I'm going to choose, I think I'm just going to choose a plain zigzag. I was going to use the broken one, but I think I'm just going to use the plain one. And I'm going to reduce the width and increase the length. So I'm at about 3.0 and 1.8 for my length. Could even go a little bit more than that. 2.0, look at that. Now, if you haven't done this before, if you want to keep yourself happy and not hate the world, I need one more pen, and not hate the world, what you'll do is, well, that little pin came out, Brad, is you'll stretch it as you go. It just makes life simpler. And that's the pin that fell out. So let me fix that guy. Sorry about that. I hope you guys have issues like this sometimes too. It's like pinning a goldfish. Okay. We're going to start. It doesn't make any difference where you start or stop. I kind of try to do it at the bottom of the pocket just because that makes me happy. So I'm going to come in front of my pin and I'm just going to stretch and go. He's always griping about that left hand, but I have to hold the fabric. So let's see what I can do here. Okay, I'm going to take out that pin. And let's see. Will that work for you? Okay. Good. Now, left hand. It's always griping about that left hand. So it's not good to pull against your needle. So if it's best if you're pulling when you have the foot down, she says. And we're nearing the home stretch. That's more than halfway right there. More than halfway around. Do it this way. My hand's this way if that makes it easier for the camera. Yes or no? Yes.
It is. You just have a little bit of back on your mic again. Just be careful it's not hitting your hair or something.
Okay. Uh-oh. I pulled out the pin and now it doesn't match. Oops. Well, that's okay. Watch this trick. We'll just scooch them together. There we go. Now it's good as new. And guess what, folks? The end is in sight. Oh, no, not as close in sight as I thought it was. Oh, man. Cut. And ta-da! Whoops, wrong camera.
I'm like, ta-da what?
Put it down here. Ta-da! So then we put our fine metal dish. And there you go. There she is, ready to go. Not fun. It's quick and easy. We did the whole thing from start to finish in less than an hour. And if I had streamlined it and not had to go from machine to here and back, I bet you could do a couple of these in an hour. I'm just thinking. Think about that Christmas gift with the little pocket. And I did have Velcro standing by, but I didn't put it in. This has little pockets. I can still go back and put my Velcro in. I found this ever so cool Velcro package. Yes, excuse me. Hook and loop tape, yes. In 5 different colors. And it has 18 inches of each. You only use about 2 inches. So, that's 9 bowls.
Oh, gosh, how cute. Okay, so a couple questions for you, Coleen. You want to come back to me?
Sure.
Like, snap, you're back. Hey, so how wide was that elastic? About 1/4 inch it looked about?
It was 1/4 inch, yes.
Okay. Debbie is late to the party. We're glad you made it, though. She wants to know what the pocket's for.
Oh, the secret pocket is for a hot or a cool bag. So if you're taking something that you need to keep cool, like potato salad, because it's iffy if you don't, you can put a bag of ice in here. Or you can freeze something in a Ziploc and have it fit in here. And then if you're going, conversely, if you're taking baked beans and you need it to be hot, they have those little hand warmers at the sporting goods stores, and you just pop them and they turn hot instantly to keep your hands or your feet warm. Well, they work just as well inside this pocket to keep your dish warm.
I forgot about those. Yes, and they come in different sizes, those little heat pads.
Yes, they do. And the ones I have are reusable. So all you have to do when you get them home is, I think you have to boil mine in water or something, but it's not for just a couple of minutes.
Well, that's a great idea.
And they're reusable forever. So
I'm just thinking of, we did this grocery bag sew-along on Brothers Sews about a month ago, and I have pockets on both sides of mine. That's a great idea when I'm bringing like a warm chicken or something like that home. Coleen, brilliant.
Oh, thanks. I had fun with it because it's something that that's going out as a gift next week.
Everyone's like, this is ingenious. I love it.
Oh, good.
Renee wants to know, is that waxed fabric or what kind of fabric you're using?
Waxed fabric. What waxed fabric?
She's not using waxed fabric. I think she's thinking of waxed canvas, but that was just regular cotton.
Yeah, this is just regular cotton. You could use waxed canvas, but you'd have to be really, really careful when you were stitching in the elastic, because that is so much heavier. The elastic would make it hard.
Yeah, I agree.
mean, stronger elastic is a better way to say that.
So a couple of you are asking, is there going to be written instructions? No, there is not. But I can tell you this. If you go back on YouTube, Brother Sews, you can go back and watch this hit pause, play, however you want to. And you can also watch it on their Facebook page. Make sure I'm not missing anything else. I am going to put up the brother website, and I'm also putting up my website down below. Some of you are asking, I'm just going to mute you for a sec, colleagues, there's a little feedback, so I'll unmute in just one sec. Some of you are asking about your updates for your Dream Machine or whatever brother machine you have. If you go to brother-usa.com, and there's a whole section under there for updates. So go under there, punch in what machine you have, and you should be able to download it. If you have Wi-Fi on your machines, like the Stellaire and Luminaire, you'll automatically get updates for that. But for the Dream Machine, it's a little different. And any other machine, if you want to make sure that you have those updates. So don't forget that's there. And also one more quick thing, as these questions roll in for Coleen. If you go to angelawolf.com, I'm starting something new for 2024. I know a lot of you are say, wait, what brother show's coming on? Who's coming on? And I know you have some favorites. Of course, all of the educators and ambassadors are your favorite. So if you go to angelawolf.com and click under classes and events, there will be a link for live shows, and I will put who's coming on. I'll try to get as far ahead as I know who's coming on, and that way you can save it to your calendar. You will never miss a show. And of course, if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you won't miss a show either. So I think I covered all that, and there's more questions for you.
Okay, let's go.
Evelyn,
I just want one thing. Updates are free.
Free. Updates are free. Upgrades are not.
Right.
Everybody's saying thank you. Okay, so Lynn has a question that's not a brother product, but what you put inside to keep it hot or cold, is there, they can just find it at their local fabric store, correct? Correct.
Well, you're talking about to keep it hot or cold. You mean to add that cold, to use cold, I just take a Ziploc bag and I put ice cubes in it, or you can put water in it and freeze it, whichever is most comfortable for you. And then for the heat, those are usually found in the sporting goods stores, and they're meant to put inside your gloves or your boots to keep your feet warm, but they work really, really great here.
I know, everybody's like, that's brilliant.
Yeah, they're reusable. So you just bring it home and you can get it ready for the next go.
Awesome. Coleen,
I have a set of those.
Perfect project. And someone was asking about the batting that you put inside of your fabric.
You know, it doesn't actually matter. The batting is just giving it a little bit of insulation. I've used wool today. I have no idea what that was. It was something that was in my room. Sorry, it's just, you know, one of the rolled battings where you're just looking for a little bit of insulation is all.
Absolutely. Perfect. Well, Coleen, it's so nice to see you. What a fabulous project. Say hello to your CEO. Great job on the camera work.
Thank you.
The magic set of hands.
Thank you so much.
Phyllis said to come in from behind. Where's that hand coming from?
I have 3 hands. I've raised children. Don't you mostly think you need 3 hands?
Absolutely. All right. So the next Brother Live show is Tuesday at noon. Alexis Galloway will be on. And I just got the pictures. You better grab a big cup of coffee or a tea and a notepad, because she's got a ton of stuff she's sharing with us. So Coleen, great to see you. If everyone wants to see, are you traveling at all between now and Christmas?
I'm not.
Okay. Well, we can't
I'm
stop
staying out at home.
which is why we're happy to have you here.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
I'm just asking.
Happy holidays to all.
Teresa, yes, you could use this bag for hot or cold. Good idea.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you have a wonderful day. Everyone, thank you for watching. Coleen, thank you, and we'll talk soon. Until next time, be safe, everyone.